Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here in the office and I've pulled some orders so we can get everything packaged up and ready to ship out. This video is a little bit different, but per request, I'm going to pack my items with you all so you can kind of see my process and really pray that this isn't the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Also, I'm really hoping the dogs don't just like run in here, specifically Butter, and just knock you over, but if that happens, it happens. So everyone kind of does things different. This is just the way that works for me, and I'm a creature of habit, so I just stick with it. Anytime Adam tries to recommend something different, I'm like, no. But let's get started. So I did just record a video yesterday, my what sold video, so I don't have a ton of orders going out, but I figured, we can show you like my process. Also, I'm sure it looks very cluttered around me. This is kind of my setup. You guys don't see it from down here typically, but we put a butcher block across this whole wall, and then I put a little cabinet here, and it has all my supplies, my boxes, my tape, my thank you cards, my poly bags, all the things, everything I need. And then right behind you is a closet, and that's where I keep my big rolls of like bubble wrap and the packing paper and large boxes that don't fit in here. And I have space. I'm supposed to be packaging up here on the table because that's what it's for. However, I feel better doing it on the floor, so I usually pack on the floor in batches, set them up there, and then I'll go up there and print labels, move them, do another little batch. So this is how I do it, of course, and everyone is different. I also start with like the easiest items, because if you have a ton of items going out in one day, for me, it can get a little overwhelming. So I feel better when I like knock off 10 real quick and it's done and my number is a lot lower. Because most of the time you have a good amount of easy stuff to pack. That for me, that's anything that goes in a poly bag or cups. So all right, the first thing that sold is this Alabama new with tags. It's like a little crop top for $15.39 plus shipping. So I always try to like fold it nice so it looks presentable. And then I put clothing in a clear poly bag like this. If it's new with tags, I try to have like the tag on the front, and I fold it tight. So like that. And I'm gonna try to also explain like what I do, and also when I had someone that helped package orders for me, what I taught them to do, as well as like how Adam does it, because everyone is completely different. Like I start with the easy stuff first. Adam does not do that. And I'm very tedious. Adam just will throw it all together like nobody's business. I'll cut bubble wrap to size. Adam will just rip along the perforations and use it that way. So I put the clear poly bag in this little poly bag with a thank you card that says small buys make big impacts. Faith flips with my logo. It has like a little thank you note on the front. I order those from Vistaprint, and Adam does all of my design stuff. He made my logo and everything. He's a graphic designer and a website designer, so he does all that type of stuff. He also makes my thumbnails. The next thing that sold is this Champion new with tag t-shirt, men's classic, for $10 plus shipping. So with the men's shirts, my first job was actually in the men's department at JCPenney's way back when I was a wee little nugget. So I kind of learned to fold the clothes a little bit better. But with the men's shirts, because they're significantly longer, I fold the bottom up about a third and then fold the top over. This tag is on the sleeve, so there's no way to really get the tag to show if it's folded properly. I already pulled these out and laid them over here and forgot that I did that. And the same thing, I put it in the clear poly bag, trying to make it like look nice and presentable. Also, you may notice that I don't seal any boxes or anything yet because I do them in batches. We call it power ship. So when I go up there to print it, I need to make sure that it's the blue shirt and not the red shirt. thank you card. So I don't seal them until I'm ready to ship them. The next thing that sold is, this is the Hippity Beanie Buddy, the big one. That sold for $7.69 plus shipping. And because I store these in a poly bag already, see, and then I write what it is. So I put that in there, roll it tight. I may be doing like extra for some people, and I may be doing not enough for others. So it's all about figuring out what works for you. For me, anything that goes in a poly bag, I make sure it's in 2 bags, whether that's a clear poly bag and then a poly mailer, or I'm gonna stick this one in here, only because bags can rip. And if they rip, I want there to be at least another bag in there and a thank you card. And I'm not sealing this one yet, but when I do, I'll do the same thing where I'll fold it in half like that, and it'll ship like that in a poly bag. The next thing that sold, I'm not gonna get like up and down to go to my laptop, so I'm using my phone. Don't think I'm, being one of those rude people that's, only half paying attention because I'm on my phone texting or something. Next are the Beanie Buddy Gobbles, little turkey, and his little matching Beanie Baby, Beanie Buddy, Beanie Baby, 2 of those. And same thing, these were stored. I do try to lay them sideways. We're in danger. We're in danger. I do try to like lay any plush or whatever like sideways, but I do store them in the poly bags and I write what they are, and that just helps me store them better. And then when I sell them, it makes it easier for me to go pull them out because I'm just looking for the name. The same thing here. Stick it in a blue poly mailer with a thank you card. Okay, the battery died, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and jump up here and print labels for the 4 that we've packaged, and then we'll keep going. I like to do batches of them, so when I get up and print labels, I can knock out 4, 5, 6, 7 at a time, whatever. So the first one we have here is Gobbles, the turkey. And I have a little, I think it's $18.99 on Amazon scale that I use. So I go to my awaiting shipment on eBay, scroll down to Gobbles, get shipping label, and that's gonna be 1 pound. And then I measure this. Some people, okay, sorry, Adam apparently used my tape measure and didn't put it back. Surprise, surprise. So I measure the poly bags. Some people do the size of the poly bag. I've done it this way the whole time and I've never been dinged on it. So we're looking at 14 by 9 by 5 purchase. So I do have a label printer. I do not have one of those expensive $400 ones. I don't understand why people do that, but to each their own. Mine was, I think, $79.99 on Amazon. It's a Polono, and I've used it for over a year, and I've never had any issues with it whatsoever. My recommendation would be to save your money. However, if you're just starting out, you don't actually even need a label printer. I used this big printer here for the longest time until I started making profit. And then like as I made money, I could reinvest money back into the business by getting a label printer. All right, this one is Hippity, and that is 14 ounces. Again, I measure them all, 13 by 10 by 5. Stick it on there. I do have to package this thing, which I'm really not excited about. Oh, Lord help me. But we'll get to that. Next, blue shirt. Have a little look-see inside, make sure. Also, I do calculated shipping. A lot of people do free shipping. A lot of people do free shipping. A lot of people do flat rate shipping. I personally do calculated shipping. I also do not pass on my discount to the buyer. I think it was back in like May or June or something where that became a thing with eBay. I did not opt into that, and I was not automatically opted into that. So I do not pass on my discount to the buyer, and what that does for me is I kind of guess when I do my listings on what box I think I'll put the item in and how much I assume it will weigh based off of experience and things like that. If I undercalculate, then it kind of covers my behind. 11, 10 by 1. I still every once in a while will lose a couple bucks on shipping, but for the most part, especially like breakable stuff, because I'll guess what it weighs, but I'm not very accurate with guessing how much it will weigh once I pack the living heck out of it so that it doesn't break. So if I say it's 5 pounds and it ends up being 9 pounds, I don't end up eating the cost in that. What I pay for the change in shipping is what the buyer pays. And then the other thing is I'm able to kind of underweigh certain items so that the shipping appears cheaper to the buyer. And I know that like video games, I'll put that they're 3 ounces, even though they're usually 7 ounces or 8 ounces to ship. I'll put that it's 3 ounces so that the listing has a cheaper shipping rate, but that 3 ounce price that they're paying is more than the 8 ounce price that I'm paying. So it kind of works out that way. Let's go back down here and pack some more stuff. Back on the floor, going back to the cups. So I use a 4x4x10 for pretty much all of my cups. The mugs and water bottles do not fit in these, but all the other cups fit in here. So, and I do the same thing every time on these boxes. I do one across the seam and then one the other way, so it makes like a T. And then for the cups, I do, that's a half a piece of paper. Roll it in there, and then I wrap a card around it like that. Shove it in the box. Done. All right. And then what else do we have over here? So from the video game lot, the GameCube lot that we just bought in my thrifting video, we sold this Zelda game for $63 plus shipping. So for video games, I always kind of do the same thing where I put it in a clear poly bag, one of these, and I fold it, and then I stick it in a bubble mailer, and I ship it like that. But I have kind of an over-under rule. So like if it's under $15, I ship it like that. If it's over $15, then I put it in a bubble mailer for like some extra protection, and then I put it in a box. So since this one is $63, we're going to protect it in a bubble mailer so it doesn't get wet, and it has some bubble wrap kind of on it, and it looks really nice. And then we throw it in a little box like this. So for boxes, this is one of the things that I taught the lady that was packing for me for a few minutes. I always do one piece of tape down the middle and one on each side. They do have 3-inch tape or whatever, and by all means use it. Again, I'm a creature of habit, so I use this. They also have like the tape dispensers where you can just pull it off and like rip it to cut it, and the same with the bubble wrap, but I'm a little too I think tedious for that. I might try it at some point, or do the 3-inch wide tape dispenser with the 3-inch wide gun. But then it's like, that's too big for some of my boxes. So I don't know. I like to just stick with what I know. And this is what I've been doing for a little over a year now. I'm sure there's tons of people with way more experience, and you can let me know your thoughts on that, but everyone kind of does it different. All right, so I'm putting some bubble wrap in there. Video game thank you card. I try to always have the thank you card with this side up, so when they open the box, this is the side they see. And then I always try to have the thank you card touching the product, if that makes any sense. So like I don't put it on top of the paper. It's a lot of it is just amazing. The lady that was packing for me for a while, she's one of my great friends for years, and I taped that up, which I shouldn't have done. But she would go tell her son like how OCD I am. But I was reading a book. It's actually right there. I can see it. I forget what it is, by Michael Gerber, and it's about small businesses and like why some make it and some don't. And one of the things that they talk about in there a lot is having processes and systems. Like with McDonald's was a big example, and they talk about how whether you like McDonald's or you don't like McDonald's, anytime you go to McDonald's, you know exactly what to expect. You're going to get the same 2 pickles. You're going to get the same slice of cheese. You're going to, XYZ. And that you can plug anyone in there from any background, any understanding, any age, any whatever, and plug them in, and they're going to give the same results. The same 2 pickles, the same slice of cheese, the same bun, whatever. So I try to do that because the next thing that sold, sorry, so I can pack this while I talk, is this circle home with Disney smart family thing for $27.99 plus shipping. But they talk about that because if you go into a barber shop, for example, and you get a haircut and they serve you coffee and you're greeted at the front door and all of the things, and you love the way that they make you feel about yourself, you love the customer service, all of that, and so you go back to them the next time and you're not greeted at the door, you're not offered any coffee, you're not whatever, you're going to be a little thrown off. So you want to have processes and procedures that are the same every single time. So the reason that I do the thank you card the way that I do it, and the pieces of tape the way that I do it, the video games all go in the same thing unless they're X or Y or Z, is because if you order from me and you order from me the same item, you order a cup and you come back and get another cup, and 3 months later you get another cup, and a year later you get another cup, you're getting the same exact quality, service, and everything every single time that you order it. Now, the flip side to that is Adam doesn't think that way. He didn't read the book. So when I had a paid helper that was packing my orders, I taught her the way I do things, because if someone else is packing for me, I need it to be the same whether I'm packing one day or she's packing one day. Same results, Adam, though, he gets it done so fast, which is great. And like a lot of funky items that I'm scared to even package and stuff, I'll be like, Adam, can you help me? Because nothing stresses him out with it. But for me, I'm a little bit more OCD with it, I guess. We'll do this little pictorial Lives of the Saints. That's sold for $25.19 plus shipping. It's a book, so I'm gonna put it in a poly bag so that it doesn't get wet and damaged. It's really old. Does my listing say what year it's from? No, I should have looked before I wrapped it up. I think it's from like the 30s or something. Very, very old. I'm gonna put it in a little box. Also for boxes, I've talked about this a few times, but where Adam works, they have a big warehouse where they send and receive pallets and stuff all day long. So he brings me home all kinds of boxes. And that's great because I save a ton on shipping supplies by not having to buy boxes. And for the most part now, I'm used to the sizes. So I know, like, I get a ton of this size box. I get a ton of this size box, which is a little bit bigger. And I'm out of, because I just shipped all those orders yesterday, but there's a bigger box that's like 15 by 12 by 8. And that's perfect for like shoes and shoe boxes and stuff like that. So it makes it easier because I know roughly what size box I use for everything. I'm also really weird, like if hair gets stuck in it, I'll redo it. Some people don't. I hate hair. And I try to not have like a crack in the box. The next thing that sold is the Philly bot bag, and that sold for $20 plus shipping. I don't do much for these, if I'm being honest, or the tire covers, because they're still in the original like manufacturer packaging, and it's vinyl or plastic or whatever rubber that material is. for playing and whatnot, so it's kind of indestructible. So I just put it in a little bag so it looks professional. Some paper, lay it in there, thank you card. So we have the camera. Also, for anyone that's new, I recommend measuring your boxes, even if they have a size on them, because a lot of boxes will say, for example, I have a box that says 15 by 11 by 7. I get these boxes all the time. It's the one I was just talking about that I use for shoes and things like that. However, if you measure the box, it's like 15 by 11 and a half by basically 8, not even close to 7. So if you don't measure the box and you go by the measurements on there, then you can get a charge from the post office for underweighing or under measuring your item. So especially if you're not used to the box yet, to learn its exact measurements, you want to measure all of the boxes because you don't want to get hit with those fees. This is the book. 1 pound, 12 ounces. See, I had 1 pound, 6 ounces on here. So I will be covered on 9 by 9 by 7. I will be covered on the shipping costs because I do not pass on my discount. Also, this ships media mail. So in those situations, that's a little different. And because I do get used boxes, you know, I try to cover up the labels with my label. This is the Philly bot bag. These are heavy. 3 pounds, 15 ounces. 11 by 9 by 8. Also, I always round up. So if it's 1.1 ounces, I call that 2 ounces. If it's a hair past 11, I'm calling that 12 inches. So it's going to be 1 pound. It's a 10 by 4 by 4. This is the Ho 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 Snoopy cup. See, we're chiseling them away. Obviously, this is taking me significantly longer because I'm recording, but that's how it goes. Okay. This is the Circle Disney. That was brand new, still sealed as well. 2 pounds, 2 ounces. 10 by 9. Zelda. 13 ounces. 9 by 8 by 7. We have freaking Hurricane Raphael out in the Gulf doing its thing again. And I'm really going to need it to just, like, I'm sorry, but Mississippi or Alabama or whoever, y'all got to take one for the team right now, okay? Y'all got to take one for the team. I need someone to raise their hand and take one for the team. All right, let's get down here and do our next batch, and that should wrap it all up, and then we'll finish off with this crazy hourglass thing that I'm not excited to ship. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So the next thing that we have are like these little Santa's helper figures. They sold for not much. And the guy reached out, he's $10.49 plus shipping. The guy reached out to see if we had any other ones because I guess he had some and his toddler broke them, which I can definitely understand. But I guess these are slightly different. But no, we don't have any other ones. It was like they're very hard to find. I don't know. So it does have the original box and it is packed, so I just go ahead and leave them in the box with the packaging, and I bubble wrap the little box. It's very quiet. I'm kind of wondering what my dogs are up to. Oh, Charlie's passed out right behind me on the couch. The life, right? I have noticed that sales are increasing a bit. So that's good. So I was getting a little concerned. I'm like, we're in 4th quarter and I'm not doing so hot. Oh, and the election was last night. I don't want to get into all the politics because that's just not what we're about here. But people have said that sales are always slow during an election. So I'm hoping that that helps. I pulled a few boxes over here on the side for some of these bigger items. These are Amazon boxes. So if you order stuff online, or your wife orders stuff online, or your kids order stuff online, or whoever's ordering stuff online, I keep all packing material and all boxes, all bubble wrap, all paper, whatever it comes in, because that's free stuff for me and I will use it. I use all of it. So I keep, like, I have the supplies that I buy, like the bubble wrap and the packing paper, but I have a big box, like a stand-up box in this closet behind me, and it's full of all the like scraps, like stuff that I get in packages, the bubble wrap, the paper, the thicker paper, styrofoam pieces, because I like using styrofoam on stuff that's super breakable. And that stuff is expensive. I've gone to Lowe's and looked at buying styrofoam. Oh my goodness. So I'm keeping every piece of styrofoam they got. These vintage handmade crochet hangers sold for $15.99 plus shipping. I put them in a clear poly bag and I'm gonna put them in this box. They're not really breakable, obviously, so I just kind of put some paper to make it look decent, but it doesn't have to be like packed to the brim. I do the same thing with shoes. The shoes aren't gonna break in a box, but I put like some paper and a thank you card to make it look nice. Presentation sometimes is everything. Next, we have 2 of these happiness can be measured with cats Tervis. They are the mug for one thing, so they don't fit in the standard box that I use for the cups, but also this person purchased 2 for $14. So we're gonna use a little boxy box, but I do still do kind of the same thing with the cups, even cups or water bottles. If they go in a different box, I still package them all the same. So I'll put a piece of paper on the bottom, and then anytime there's 2 or more, I do the same thing where I fold the paper in half and I roll them. So if it's 1, I do 1, obviously, but if it's 2, I roll them together into 1, and then I fold the top over, fold the bottom up, thank you card, a little more paper on top. That's that. All right. I think I was gonna use this for my hangers, was my thought actually, because I think I have like no big boxes right now, or I guess these are medium, but I have no boxes bigger than like that 10 by 9 size really right now, because I used them all yesterday. I'm gonna put these hangers in this box because it's very, very flat. I know it looks kind of big, but that's just the flats. It's a very flat box, so it can't fit a whole lot in there, so it's perfect for hangers. Don't hit my little hourglass. And then I'm gonna use this box for these 2 items. Right, these are like little Danish clogs. They sold for $21 plus shipping, and they're in the box. So I'm probably going to, I ran out of my large polys on that last one, so I gotta pull some out. All right, so because it's already in the box, I'm going to just put this in a poly bag to like protect it. I got a message maybe a week or 2 ago, and the guys purchased some shoes that were new in the box, and they were like, please don't just stick the shoe box in a bag with a shipping label, because the box and everything gets damaged. And I kind of was like blown away that they had to say that. That means that people are literally just putting the shoebox into a poly bag and shipping it like that. I don't do that. I always put the box in a box, and a bag, in a box and in a bag. Let's be honest here, people. I'd rather spend a little bit more on packing supplies to have it presentable and safe and like look good and not ratchet. Although Adam sends some shit out looking pretty ratchet sometimes. he used to help me pack when I worked a full-time job, just because I would come home, almost knocked my little hourglass down. I would come home from work and I'd be exhausted. I was working a ton as well, and we would like pack together. Obviously now I do it all myself, unless I'm sick. If I'm sick, he will step in and do it for me, because he's a good guy. Or on Fridays, he works from home and I ship on Fridays. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Fridays, if he's home and I have something funky, usually something he picked up that I don't want to ship because it's like crazy, like this damn hourglass, I'll be like, will you help me? He's really good at making the Frankenbox, you know, where you have to like cut it down or put them all together, whatever. He's really good at that because he does not care what it looks like. For me, like if it's uneven or there's a gap or whatever, I can't. So I'll have him do that because he's less obsessed with them. So the next thing that sold, this person purchased 4 of these Happy Camper stainless steel turbos and 3 of these United States Army turbos. So that's 7, and they paid $78.33 plus shipping. So same deal. I stuffed some paper in there, and then I do it just like this. One over here, one over here, roll them together, fold it down, stick it in. So whether you order 2 cups or you order 7 cups, they are wrapped exactly the same. Okay, not gonna lie, I had to go put some chicken in the crock pot, but let's get these packaged up. I also don't think I have a box legitimately for this hourglass thing, but I'm gonna pack it the way that I would and show you guys, and then I'll put it in a box tomorrow. Adam's gonna bring me home some boxes. This is the 2 mugs. The happiness can be measured in cats mugs. 2 pounds, 10 by 9. I keep feeling like I'm gonna sneeze now because I have like spices up my nose. It's fine. They are supposed to be coming out this week to pour the concrete like deck and stuff around my pool. I don't know if Hurricane Raphael is going to affect that. I'm sure it will, because you know, we had Tropical Storm Debbie and 2 hurricanes during my pool process, so why not add a 3rd hurricane in to really make things fun. At this point, we'll be swimming in my pool next year, unless we get a heater. I did have it wired for a heater, but we didn't buy a heater just in case like we wanted to do it later. It's cheaper to just like add the electrical part on now, but I don't know. We'll see. These are those 2 little figurines. Anyways, so they're supposed to be to pour the deck. I mean, it would be really nice because I've had just like a sand or mud pit, 9 by 9 by 7. Like my yard, I have, that can't go media mail. What is happening? My backyard is like has all the grass and everything from all the like, not bulldozers, but like the skid steer and the backhoe or whatever that they use, all that stuff that they use. I have no grass. Plus they like, you know, had to dig out a bunch of grass and everything else. So especially for the dogs, they basically have like a sliver of grass at the moment. And on top of that, the dogs just track if it's really dry. These are the hangers. If it's really dry out, which it was like right after Milton, we didn't get rain for like a week, which was great. I just get sand all through my house. Like it literally looks like I live on the beach or something. And if it's not dry out, which is pretty much every other moment during this podcast that we've had, I just have a big muddy slosh pit. It's like you could go 4-wheeling back there or something. So bad. So I want to like get the concrete in so that some of the dirt becomes concrete. to alleviate some of that. And then once the equipment part is done, where they're not driving anything crazy into my backyard anymore, I plan on resodding or laying seed or whatever. Because, and we had 18 by 14 by 5. By the way, if you guys don't know, the surcharge for boxes is anything over 36 inches, we'll say. So like if your measurements equal 36 or under, then you're good. It's the same size, same price. Anything over that, so like 12 by 12 by 12, you're good. But if it's 13 by 12 by 12 or any non-even number combinations that you want to, if it's 20 by 10 by 10, then you're over 36 because that equals 40. So just a little tidbit there. Anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at with the pool. It would be great to at least have the concrete put in so it's less of a mess. And then I can start putting grass in, because we took out a lot of the grass. Adam and I did it about 1.5 years ago ourselves, where our yard was so big and it was just all grass that we mulched around the entire border. We mulched the entire border of our backyard all along all fence lines. And we did like 4 feet out. And then down the sides of the house to the gate where you come in, we mulched all that and took the grass out. So now we're going to put grass back in those areas, because we just took so much grass out incorporating the pool. Because I do already have a screened in porch that we got about 1.5 years ago, and now we're adding the pool with a screened in porch to it. So a lot of the yard space is gone. Don't get me wrong, we still have like a bunch of yard space back there, and we have a tree and Elijah's like playground area. We put mulch under and like framed it out with edging and stuff. So part of that broke, but we're gonna move the fire pit back there and then resod what's left around the playground. Just trying to add in some more grass, because for Charlie it wasn't really a big deal, but Butter is massive. She's like 40 something pounds. Charlie's 9 pounds, and he does not care to be outside. She loves to run and to play fetch, all the things that he doesn't want to do. In fact, when we are doing those things with her in the backyard and playing, Charlie lays on the porch on the little couch in the sun and watches us. So not a huge deal for him, but for Butter, we need some running space where she can get out her energy. She's big. She needs some stretching room, you know? So I figure with the sides all the way to the back, for her will be a good stretch for running. And then depending on where we put the fire pit now, we had to dismantle that for the pool. Depending on where we put that, the whole back side will be grass as well. And right now we have like a big corner with a tree and stuff that's probably like, I would say like 25 feet diameter, or 25 feet, yeah, diameter area that's grass. But she's used to having a big yard, so I don't know. All right, let's try to get to this crazy thing. I don't have a box for it, like I said, but we're gonna at least get it ready for the box. Okay, I'm really not excited about this. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, it's like a little music box. Okay, great. All right. So the first thing that I do with this crazy stuff, and I did this with that Asian doll thing. I get paper and that Harry Potter thing, Lord. By the way, this sold for $101 plus shipping. And I very carefully and tediously stuff paper in between all of these, like, kind of like separated parts, I guess is a good way to say it. because I want it to be like one solid unit. I don't know if that even makes sense. I don't know. So like I don't, because it has the columns and the figures and everything, I want it to be one solid cylinder, not have like a bunch of in between negative space. I want to fill all of the negative space with paper. So like this snake is hanging off the side, so we're gonna stuff some paper in there in between the snake and the hourglass. For anyone that's not a reseller, I'm sure this video is the most boring thing you've ever watched on YouTube, if you're still here watching. But to be fair, like, that's why I've said in some of my videos, like, if there's something you want me to show you, I will happily show you, even though, like, I'm not gonna get a ton of views on it, and, you know, some people might not even care. Only the reason I say that is because when I first started, like, I think I watched Harry Tornado pack some items, and he used like all priority boxes, so he's already like shipping a different way than I did. And like I didn't understand, I couldn't like figure it out. And I'm like, is everyone weighing their items before they list them? And like, how are you shipping stuff? I think my first item was like a little journal thing, and I just took it to the post office and like asked them, because I had no idea. And then I lost money on the actual item because I spent more in shipping, and I did free shipping because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Then I sold the item for. So that's why I'm willing to do this, because to find like real, like everyone's trying to make content for the views. I get it. Like, I'm making content. I hope people watch it and like it. But at the end of the day, the reason I started my channel was to help people that have less experience than me. I watch YouTubers and whatnot, not the platform, the saying, to learn myself, but I'm trying to show the stuff that like maybe isn't shown as often to people that have less experience than me, because a lot of this stuff I just figured out myself. Now, are there easier and better ways to do stuff? I'm sure. That's why I tell everyone, like, watch as many people as you kind of can, because everyone's gonna do something different. This is so ridiculous, but there's a little bird, I forget his name. I always mix him and the monkey from Lion King up. I should be ashamed of myself. I'm aware. So anyways, my point is if you're new, if you're not new, thank you for watching and supporting me. And I'm open to hearing your tips and tricks. And if you are new, I hope that something from this video or any of my videos has helped you figure out what you're doing. I used to panic when I would first get sales. I'd be like, oh my gosh, just a pair of shoes, how am I going to ship that? Because we really don't know. And especially in today's day and age, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say my actual age. We're going to stick with the fact that I turned 24 a year ago, or in one of my last videos in October during Hurricane Milton. That was my birthday. I turned 24, and we'll just say that I'm not within 10 years of that age. But like, we don't mail stuff anymore. We don't. Everything is like online and through the internet. People don't write checks or buy stamps. They send emails. You know what I mean? So like, when I was packaging stuff in the beginning, I didn't even know. I'm like, where am I supposed to get a label? How do I pay for this? Where do I get a box? Like, what am I doing here? This flag is gonna suck. Okay, so the paper's getting a little loose, but what I'm gonna show you, and this looks super ratchet, because when these people get this, they're gonna be like, was this woman on something or what? What are we doing here? So I always start with a small bubble. And small bubble really isn't for protection. Stuff will break in the small bubble. But it protects, it's a good way to hold it all together. And it's a good way to protect from surface damage. like scratches and things like that. So because I just added that paper to the flag, I'm gonna add a little ball of paper at the top to kind of even it out. So it's one crazy shape here. So the flag is here. I added this random paper here. And the paper's falling out, but I'm going to tighten it all, hold it back in with this bubble wrap. You'll see. You'll see. People have got to be like, this. I know Adam does at least. Let me stop. He loves me. I do my bubble wrap like a present where like I tuck in the two sides and then I fold the flap and then fold the other flap over. Adam just flap. Like he does it. Okay. But we're closer to like one even cylindrical, that made sense, shape. Where like there's no like loose flag hanging off that's gonna break off. It's all packed together in here. And then what I do next is big bubble, and I will double bubble this. And this is one of those things that like people probably won't agree with, but I do one big bubble and then I'll do another big bubble, because if I just keep rolling it around to where it double bubbles in one roll, then I can't get it as tight on the corners when I fold it all down, if that makes sense, because it'll be so thick that you can't like tight and crisp like that. I could be overthinking it, but that's for me. This is round, so, you know, it's not gonna look pretty as if it was square. Okay, see? We're getting somewhere. The next thing that sold is this little Polaroid camera for $13.99 plus shipping. It's really little, so I'm actually gonna put it in this eBay bag. Whenever I get the coupon for having a store for the quarter, I buy stuff like these poly bags from eBay, and I buy sizes that I don't typically have or get. I do buy all of my poly bags and poly mailers off of Amazon, as well as the boxes for the cups. I've purchased those as well. They're all supplying that, but it's through Amazon. So whenever I get the eBay coupons though, I buy different sizes and stuff that I don't normally have. I always try to leave out the little cord on any electronics or whatnot so that the plastic connection piece doesn't crack or push into whatever's there. So camera, and I put it in this little poly because it's an electronic and we don't want it to get wet. And then these I also got with my coupon. It's an 8x6x4. These are smaller boxes, so I do one down the middle and then like one kind of crisscross over that. Boom. And I use like one piece. I put it in there, fold it in half, put the item, and then fold it over the other side. Boom. All right, now my counter's full, so this is when I would jump up there and print out the labels so I can clear the counter and get on to the next batch. And that person that purchased 22 cups from me, she had purchased 3 or 5 or something cups from me before. I did the same exact thing. All 22 cups were wrapped just like this. Consistency is key. But you want to like kind of teach your customers what to expect from you. So I'm about it. Also, I'm OCD, so like diagnosed by a professional. And that's what Adam says all this stuff is when I obsess about it, or like I'll go crazy and rip apart the Tervis cups and put them all back together in my garage, or with the baseball cards, I was putting them in order of year, sport, and company, whatever, that type of stuff. And he'll be like, this is literally just your OCD. I'm like, or it's smart organization. I don't know. All right. And we've got all the cups in there. And we're going to print labels for this. And then I will do this crazy hourglass to the best of my ability. Although, I don't know what box I'm going to put that in. I probably should have put it in this box. But then what am I going to put that in? I don't know, thinking out loud. I'll figure it out. And then double bubble again. Now, one thing I will say, just a little tip while I'm doing this, is for round stuff, like plates or bowls that are the same on all sides. It could be square too, but anything that's like the same on all sides, I will wrap it one way in the bubble wrap, and then the double bubble, I'll flip it to the other way so that because the ends where you fold it in and tape it have all that extra cushion from the excess. So if this was a plate or a bowl or something, it would have the extra excess cushion on the two ends, and then I would do it again to where it had it on these two sides as well. So all four sides would have that extra cushion bubble wrap. Obviously I can't do that with this because it's, you know, all funky shaped, but that is something that I do for video game consoles, bowls, plates. Sometimes I can do it with a mug, you know, things like that that are breakable. All right, see? And I think it was Rachel Strickland. She said in one of her videos, this was, I don't know, probably like a year ago. She said, if you don't feel comfortable, like, I think her and her husband did a video like kicking a box like a soccer ball. And Homeschooling Picker's the one that said, if you don't feel comfortable like throwing your package down the stairs or off your deck or something like that, then it's not good. So that's the truth. That's really what it is. Like, if you don't feel like, I have stairs in my house. If I don't feel like I can, what the hell is that? If I don't feel like I can throw my item down my stairs and it be okay, then it's not good. Now, I'm not going to throw it down the stairs, but I'll sometimes, like I just did with that, I'll like bounce it right there on the, you know, bounce it, make sure that I feel like it's. Now, this is the other thing that I do, only on like extremely breakable stuff that's decent value that I don't want to like have to refund, is I will put this in this box for a little extra protection, just like that. And then I'm going to bubble wrap that box, and then I will put that whole thing into the box that Adam brings home to ship it in. Just like this. Just so it has, because of course the bubble wrap is great and I've double bubbled and done all of the things, but the cardboard gives it like a solid structure to help hold it together. You guys, I should have really done a video on how I packaged that Harry Potter thing. I wonder, I took pictures as I was doing it and sent it to Adam. I wonder if I still have them. I can maybe like put them on this video. But I had like shoved little pieces of styrofoam everywhere. Like anything you can imagine, like every little, because it was $1,000. Like I'm definitely not trying to have to refund that. So every little like crevice I had shoved like styrofoam into and filled it. So how I just did this one with the paper, I did that with pieces of styrofoam on the Harry Potter one, like little pieces. I was like, he's holding a torch or something, and I like beveled out, or not beveled, carved out like a hole in styrofoam to sit on top and fit behind. It was crazy what I was doing with that. And then I double bubbled that, and then I put it in a box just like this, like a small box, and then I bubble wrapped that and put it in a thing. So basically that's my hourglass. That's how I do these crazy ass freaking packages. So he's in here, he's double bubble, well, he's got little bubble, he's got paper stuff in him, little bubble, double big bubble, inside of a little cardboard box, bubble wrap that, and then this will go into a bigger box that fits it with a crap ton of paper, and off he'll go for $101 plus shipping. So I hope that that helps. Like, I had a variety of items, so I hope that helps kind of show my shipping process and how I do everything. We had a breakable, we had some clothes, we had some cups and some shoes and different types of things. So hopefully that at least gives you a basic understanding of how I do it, how you could do it. Again, watch as many people as you can, learn as many different ways to do things as you can, and figure out like what works best for you. So if you are wanting any other like informative type of videos, educational videos, I don't know what you would call it. If you want any specific types of videos showing you how I do something, then just let me know and I'm happy to do it. I'm going to get these packages to the post office and put away some inventory. So until next time, bye guys.